1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. Paul Harding from Martin Harding Mazzotti, our boy. What's up, man?
Hey,
How
Paul.
you doing?
How's it going?
It's feel like it's been a bit.
How much time you got, right? Yeah, so it's been an unusual time. Haven't talked to you guys in a while, but things seem somewhat getting back on track.
What are you guys doing over at the office?
Yeah, we're just talking a lot on the phone. We are, everybody's home, everybody's connected. It's super quiet, so we are ready to work, and we're working. And yesterday was the first full day of that, so you can imagine it had its peaks and valleys. But right now we are on track and working.
So we get to read a lot of analytics on how it's all unfolding socially and work related. If you get distracted at home, it takes you 28 minutes on average to get back on track. As a boss, you can't like hearing that, Paul.
Terrible.
No.
It's terrible.
No, but we get it. We get it. People are home. They got their kids. They got dogs. They got a refrigerator.
Right.
And they are working. But
no doubt about it. I just thought that was an interesting stat.
I hope after 8-9 years of school, if you're doing what you got to do, you're probably on board the folks that are working at home. But if you do get some free time, do lawyers binge watch TV?
Well, they've been, Netflix. I think, I got a little note around that I've never watched Madam Secretary, right?
Okay,
but in the last 2 weeks, I've caught up. I'm almost caught up. So yes.
Yeah, Paul,
we do.
Paul, I watched episode 1 on the network version years ago, and I said goodbye because I didn't have the patience. But now it's back, and I'm right there with you, bro.
That's awesome.
Awesome. All right.
So, Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti, what's the difference? When does a quarantine become martial law? There's a portion of America that's kind of banging that drum and doesn't want to give the government too much power.
Yeah, we got these shelter-in-place states, and then we've got. Really, here in New York, we've got, we know that the governor has allowed us to do certain things. We're not sheltered in place. We know that there are non-criminal penalties if you violate it. Now they'll shut down your business and force you to close, but they're not arresting people who are doing it. Other states, as close as New Jersey, they say, hey, you get caught doing this, you hold in a big party, or that you're going to be charged with basically a disorderly conduct. They have a different charge for it. So everyone's treating it a little bit differently. And I think right now the governor has said, we're in the maximum, kind of gave a Star Wars sort of approach. We're at this sort of, maximum warp speed of where we're going to be in terms of his decision making. So we're hoping from here, as the news just starts giving us some of these rights back.
Such a scary sound, the martial law, and we've had these, the influx of these big equipment for a lot of these police departments. But what if we had a little mini invisible ISIS running around America, infecting us, and a lot of the people would die? We'd probably bring out martial law then, wouldn't we?
Sure, they do talk about, similar to the mass shootings, right? If there was going to be a real shutdown, we had an invasion, martial law would be in place. You go out in the street, you drive around, you would be thrown in the back of a paddy wagon, 1950s, right? And, brought somewhere.
It's
isolated.
To help.
So,
it's to help. And I know that I sound like a patsy.
Well, you don't want to give up your rights. And who can enact martial law? That's a governor thing, right?
Yeah, the governors can do it. The federal government can do it.
Oh, okay.
So it depends on where, again, we have a state. Let's say just New York was in some type of danger and nobody else was. They could do it, rioting, things like that, or it's more of a federal thing.
They could call my militia. We'd come and help out New York State.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No question about that. You're on board.
Minutemen.
One last question. What is the judicial system doing with low-level offenders right now? Anything?
Well, there's...
You got plans?
No, I don't have any plans.
Okay.
Probably a good time to do something. Yeah, it's a little more lax than it would have been 3 months ago. Yeah, the criminal courts are sort of alive and well, but, we saw this whole thing with the bail reform where they were kind of, getting people in, kind of letting them go to come back for debatable reasons. So, yes, it is a little more lax. There's a lot less, number one, there's probably a lot less people using the system because people are just not interacting with one another.
Right.
People are abiding by this. But, no, you violated law, there's still a criminal court that will arraign you, indict you, and ultimately put you in prison.
Silver lining of gun violence down in Chicago.
That's good news, right?
No, seriously, silver
Fine,
lining.
yeah.
So that and pollution.
Did you fill out your census yet, Paul? We got to get going, but I just want to make sure I remind you.
Because I have a little bit of free time, so I actually did it the day it came in, which is so atypical for me. Yeah,
Good for
it's like
you.
9 minutes. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for everything you're doing, Paul, and good luck out there.
Thanks. All right, guys.
1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com. Paul Harding, Martin Harding Mazzotti.